Seth Jacobson froze, balanced between the third and fourth boards nailed to the tree. Tingle shot up the back of his neck. A rustling sound. A brief change in the flickering greenish-gray light, that was all. Something was out there, hidden by cedar and black spruce. "What's the matter?" asked Matt, looking up. A year older and an inch taller, he waited below the deer stand in his bright orange hunting jacket and hat. Seth stared into the trees, looking for the slightest movement in shadows. He sensed eyes watching him. On the breeze, a sharp, pungent odor wafted to his nose. He suddenly felt like wolf bait. "The deer scent," he said, sniffing. "We reek." "That's the idea," said Matt. The opening of deer hunting was 2 days away, and as a trial run, they doused their jackets with bag-a-buck scent. Without guns, they had waited over an hour in the stand for a deer to approach. None had. Seth finished climbing down the stand, a narrow wooden platform built between 3 balsam trees and camouflaged with boughs. It rose above a deer path littered with droppings. "Nothing wrong with keeping it to yourself," Dad had said, "since you built it." But Seth wanted to share it with his best friend. He dropped to the ground. "Remember that guy by Beaver Pass?" Matt picked up a pine cone, wound up, hit a tree. "Yeah, the guy was attacked by a wolf, ripped apart, needed a few hundred stitches." "No, not exactly," Seth said. "My dad said the wolf knocked the guy to the ground, then took off. The guy was drenched with scent. The wolf probably thought he was a deer." Matt looked at him, brown eyes unblinking. "So?" From the ragged top of a dead pine, something swooped down. Seth flinched, but it was only a great gray owl, massive wings skimming the thin layer of snow. Silently it vanished through leafless birch trees, a mouse clamped in its talons. Had he felt the owl watching them? Was that all? "I'm just saying," he continued, glancing around. "Maybe we overdid the scent, that's all. The directions said a few drops, not half a bottle." "Gutless wonder," Matt said, dark eyebrows raised. "That's what I'm going to start calling you." Why did Matt always seem to get the upper hand? Whenever they were together, it was as if he had to stay on top, be a notch higher somehow. "Hey," Seth said, "I'm not gutless, it's just—" "Gutless." "Okay then, brain-dead." Seth crossed his arms, met Matt's stare down. "You want to lead the way home?" Truce. I don't know this part of the woods like you do." He glanced over his shoulder. "And I'm sure not sleeping out here." The sun slipped below the horizon, stealing the last slivers of light, as Seth stared down the deer path into a rocky bowl. He picked up his pace. Matt was right. He knew this part of the woods well, but without a flashlight or compass, they could still get lost. Matt spent his days at Great Falls Junior High, but Seth usually finished his home school studies early and was in the woods by 2 o'clock. Seth rambled, finding tracks. Moose, deer, black bear, pine marten, fox, and, in the last year, wolf. Twice in the last month, he'd woken to howling. They climbed a bank, then skirted the east ridge of Mackenzie Lake, which was sheeted with thin ice. A breeze rushed through the pines. Was he really gutless? Not tough enough? He had to admit he was worried. Matt got a deer last year, but this was Seth's first season. When the moment came, could he shoot? He wasn't sure he could or wanted to, but now that he was 12, he wanted to find out. Rounding a snow-topped boulder, Seth jolted to a stop. Matt slammed into his back. "What?" Seth held up his hand and focused on listening harder, seeing more deeply. An eerie creaking rose from behind them. He spun around. A fallen birch tree, caught in the crook of another birch, whined in the breeze. Nothing. It was nothing.